Okay, so to draw the impossible triangle, you have a sharp pencil, first off, and a piece of paper. And there's a couple ways to draw this. And I don't know which is the right way or which is the wrong way. I just know the ways I sort of figured out when I saw it on a wall once when I was a kid, and I was like, that's really cool. So the impossible triangle, kind of a magical shape because it can be drawn with just a piece of paper and a pencil, but when you look at it, it's actually impossible. So start by just drawing a triangle. This is one of the easier ways I've found to draw it. And once you get better at it, you can do it a bunch of different other ways. But you draw a little triangle, and you go up and follow one of the sides of the triangle and extend it out about a 1/4 inch, right? So we're gonna go do that, and then you go down to that one you just extended to the bottom of that, and you extend that next one out. So you kind of follow the same direction, as if it was a windmill or a fan. So now all of a sudden, we got a triangle with extended sides on it, right? And we'll go make sure those are about, pretty good size there, as long as they're all the same at least. And then we go back to that first one we went up to, and now you're gonna go make a sharp turn the same way as this side and go down parallel. And we go all the way down, and we actually go a little bit further, about as much further as the size of this thing is. So we do that there. That's cool. That's a good start. And then we go do the same thing next door. Go a little bit further. And we do the same thing up here and go a little bit further. And once you get all those, then you start to have something that looks kind of like, I don't know, kind of like a cool vortex. But this is where it gets tricky, and this is where you start making it look impossible in 3D. So we're gonna, like you might think, remember how we went up there and did that the first time? We're gonna do that same thing, but now when we do, we're not gonna go all the way down. So we're gonna go down, 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 and then we're gonna stop the same level as this. If you were to follow this one across, we stop right there, because this is actually gonna be like the 3D leg of one of the impossible legs. So we go down there and we stop it and seal it off. Do the next thing over here. Try and keep them parallel. Parallel means things are lining up next to each other. And we go to right, okay, and we stop it right here. Boom. So you cap it off. And we do it right here. And remember to stop it just in time. So we stop it right there, and boom. So now you have essentially the impossible triangle. The M.C. Escher was a really famous mathematician and artist who was very into optical illusions and geometry and other stuff of that nature, and he has some pretty cool examples of it. If you look up M.C. Escher. He's a cool guy to check out. But to make this a little more fun, a little more potent, if you will, you can do something called shading. And you could either do this with a pen or with a pencil. Since we're using a pencil, we'll just keep going with that. But you imagine that this could be the really bright side. So we're not going to color that in at all. This could be the medium side, and this could be the dark side. So it has 3 different sections. And I'm going to go in and use the side of my pencil maybe for the dark side. Let's go. And it covers a little more ground. And this could be done with a pen too, Pens, I think pencils and pens are, they both have their redeeming qualities. But this should do it. I'm going in here. So now I got a pretty dark side. And then what about the medium side? This one's, let's just assume this is pretty much black or dark gray. I'm gonna do cross hatching for this next one. So cross hatching is a really cool technique. You can make it look like it's somewhere in between here and here. Because this one's light, this one's dark. Let's go and just go lines this way. All symmetrical, parallel. And I go do them over the whole thing. And then maybe I'll go back and do lines perpendicular to that. So look more like this. So now we get essentially what's like a nice impossible triangle. So see why it's impossible? Because this is coming towards you, but then it's going from behind back towards you again. Just like this. So there's other cool examples like the impossible staircase and a lot of other impossible shapes out there if you look for them. I'm going to add some flares here. Actually, maybe I'll do that with a pen just for fun. Some nice like pew, 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 pew. And sometimes you can do a whole pencil drawing, and then if you really like it, you know, take a picture of it and then move on and ink it up, because then your lines will be super clean. So I'm just going to go over this and ink it up now. Sure it's not, and you'll see it'll start to come together as a clean ink drawing. And then you could go back in and erase the pencil if you don't like it, or just keep rolling with it if you like it. So, and I'm just tracing over the main lines now because I know them. And I showed you the way to drawing it with the triangle, but you don't have that much control over it when you want to do it that way. There is another way to do it. I'll just do it real quick, which is essentially, if you know this shape, this L shape, or even you could just draw the outline of the triangle like this. Once you've practiced it and before, you draw a triangle with its corners cut off like this. So then you can pretty much fit the whole triangle into there. And then you go in reverse, slide this down but not all the way, slide this over but not all the way, slide this over but not all the way. And so then you can see we're getting the same effect here. I'll go a little bit further here and do a slide this over, but not all the way because you have to leave room for this guy. Slide this over and see, then we get one with a much smaller hole, which is okay, that's cool. We can also do the opposite. You can make them very thin, right? You can be like, so you got a lot of options, just like with any drawing project. You can kind of customize it. So I'm making a super skinny one here. And see, I messed up a little bit. Not really messed up, but I got a little extra in there, so I'm just going to make that be my dark side. So a lot of times, you think you make a mistake. Turns out you just made yourself, what's the word? A head start on a new direction. Another thing I like to do too, when it comes to inking stuff, change pens. So we inked that whole thing with this kind of thick Sharpie style pen. I'm going to use a thin pen now to do my cross hatching. And you'll notice it instantly looks like cooler because it has different line quality. So line quality makes a big difference. Even if you just did like an outline of a drawing with a thick pen and then use the thin pen for the cross hatching, or you don't even need to cross hatch. You could do like Scribble Scrabble. Scribble Scrabble is very powerful stuff. Or you could even do stippling dots. These are all different ways to make the impossible possible.